he decided to terminate my employment for gross misconduct, which was, that's how that
The
went.
blueberries.
Yeah. He said that someone had called and complained that an employee was putting blueberries in paint on social media. After all the videos started taking off, I believe my 6th video got 1 million views.
Holy cow.
Yeah. People really like watching paint being mixed.
Really?
It's like that oddly like satisfying like category of the internet. I think the media really dug into it all. It's that classic David and Goliath story. Big corporation, small part-timer.
And here's an opportunity. Mid-size Florida-based company, and now you got your own paint line starting with them.
Yes, sir.
Damn, man.
It's wild.
That's dope. That's dope. Hey, what's going on today, guys? And thanks for checking out this episode of the SaltyFresh Perspective podcast. My guest today is the founder of Tonester Paints, a social media brand that has hundreds of millions of views across multiple platforms. He's also the content creator and social media manager for Florida Paints. His story of getting fired from a major company made it all over the news in America. So I head out to his studio, get a chance to have a conversation with him, and get the scoop myself. Please give it up for Tony Piloseno. All right. You ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, I'm going to roll a quick little intro, I like to call them.
Sure.
Nothing too fancy, but sitting here today, episode of the podcast with Tony Piloseno from Florida Paints, from Tonester, right?
Yes, sir.
A local legend, man. I saw you on the news. I've seen you all over social media, so that's why I wanted to come hear your story here in person. So thanks for having me.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I'm always glad to, talk with others about my experiences and get right to it. Yeah.
Is this more comfortable? What do you think?
Yeah, it might be.
That's
with
not
the
bad,
with the
right?
table, yeah.
Yeah, I think 'cause then we feel more like we're not
Exactly, leaning over.
leaning in. You see, I'm flexible with this.
Exactly.
Thing, kind of making it happen. Well, like I said, appreciate you doing this, and
No problem.
We'll get right into it. So where are we, man? We're sitting in here. It looks like if I had to guess what your dream might look like, this might be kind of close. But what do you think about this place?
Dude, this is crazy. We are sitting here in Tonester Paint's studio at the Florida Paint store in Orlando. Just moved down here a few months ago from Ohio. After my story about myself being fired from Sherwin-Williams had broke out.
Yeah.
So that's how I got myself down here.
Nice,
Yeah.
man. How's Florida treating you?
Florida's fantastic.
Yeah. You liking it?
The weather's fantastic, dude. It's better than Ohio, that's for sure. I actually just went back this past weekend to visit friends and family, and I regretted it as soon as I got off the plane.
As soon as you got off the plane.
Yeah,
What's the temperature like in Ohio right now?
40 degrees.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
thank
terrible.
you. Yeah, I'm from Florida, man. I could not handle that cold weather.
Dude, I've only been down here for like 3 months, and I'm already used to it.
Nice, man. You're
I heard
native now.
I heard in the summers it's brutal. Terrible.
It's hot. We got air conditioner.
Right.
It's hot.
Yeah.
If you get into water sports, like we were talking a little bit,
Yeah.
I try not to do that, but you find yourself in the water, man, that's a good way to cool you off.
What are we, 45 from Daytona?
Yeah, from here.
Yeah.
About 45. Good surf spot up in Daytona. Real easy fishing up there, too.
Hour and a half from Tampa. I already went out to Clearwater once. Beautiful, beautiful area.
Yeah, it's calm. Oceans over there. Beautiful area, man.
Yeah.
So, very cool. Well, you went right through it there, but that's the main thing that's getting you all the press these days, it seems like. So, you're working for Sherwin-Williams before, right?
Yes.
What happened, man? What's the story? What's the deal?
So, when I first started as a freshman in college, 18 years old, I needed myself a part-time job. Really was looking for anything. Landed at Sherwin-Williams, just, get myself some income coming in. I actually really fell in love with the job. The process of mixing paint colors, working with homeowners with their projects, contractors. For whatever reason, I just really enjoyed going to work, the people I worked with. Super cool jobs. Not something that you would expect to, working in the paint store, nothing glamorous, but I found enjoyment in it.
Yeah. So,
I was working at Sherwin-Williams, and then 3 years after I had started, back in December of 2019, I believe it was, I had first downloaded TikTok, right? And, I had seen people on the app mixing paint colors just like I normally do as like my job
every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be cool, do my own little thing with it, and the videos took off almost immediately.
What'd you do? Bring in your cell phone first, or?
Yeah, I still use my cell phone.
Really?
For everything. Yeah.
Awesome.
With these new iPhone cameras, like,
yeah,
it's legit.
Pretty fancy.
Yeah.
So Sherwin-Williams didn't know you were doing this, or they didn't sign off on you doing this, or
well,
what was
when
their
I
problem
first
with it?
started doing it back in December of last year, I was I was doing it for customer orders, nothing crazy. Every once in a while, if someone phoned in an order, and it was a cool color, I would just film myself making it. And after all the videos started taking off, I believe my 6th video got 1 million views.
Holy cow.
Yeah, people really like watching paint being mixed.
Really?
It's like that oddly like satisfying like category of the internet. So I forgot to mention this. I was a marketing student, or I still am a marketing student at Ohio University.
Okay.
So I used those skills that I learned in school, put 2 and 2 together, took my passion and love for color, and just tried marketing it in a way that hasn't really been approached before. So after doing the videos for a while, I had made a presentation marketing deck to show my manager and sales rep at the paint store. The basis of the presentation, like I had said, was market to a new audience, utilize
using TikTok.
Use short video platforms. These platforms that almost all companies are trying to figure out and utilize right now. I had made a pitch deck to them, showed them. At least I think they loved the presentation, and they gave me the contact information for corporate marketing at Sherwin. So they'd given me the contact info for the marketing director of the Eastern Division, and tried getting in contact with him by phone, email, messaging him on LinkedIn. For like 2 months, I didn't hear anything. Nothing. And this was March of 2020, so this is just when COVID started. So, I wasn't too worried about it or anything. Like, people were busy, things were going on.
Right.
Just kept making the videos, stuff like that. He had finally gotten back to me a few months later, basically saying that there wasn't really a necessary reason for him to see the presentation, because the company was holding off on all marketing, promotions, stuff like that.
Got it.
So he literally said that there wasn't really a need to see the presentation.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well.
Not even look at it?
Didn't even look at it. And it was all put together, everything. I mean, It really would have just been like a 15-minute Zoom call.
Yeah. But at this point, what kind of views are you getting? How many followers do you have, roughly?
This point, when I brought it to Sherwin-Williams to present, it was about 500,000 followers on TikTok.
Really?
No Instagram, no YouTube.
So TikTok only, 500,000 people are already checking this out.
Exactly.
And that's not worth a 10-minute Zoom call to the marketing director?
I guess not.
Interesting.
The way I had emailed him was basically saying a social media opportunity.
Yeah.
So I didn't really put in like the TikTok or anything like that. I just said social media opportunity to develop brand preference.
Do you find that people aren't looking at TikTok in that way? In some cases, whether it's business as it is an opportunity to make. I'm not that familiar with it. I've actually never been on TikTok at all, so I don't really know anything about it. Hearing that kind of subscriber count sounds like it would get at least somebody's interest. But
well, I highlighted in the presentation actually a few big companies that were utilizing the platform early, and that included the NBA, Chipotle, Universal Pictures.
Yeah. Massive corporation. Multi-billion-dollar industries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not like there weren't businesses that were utilizing it. Right. So that's what I emphasized in that pitch deck. And
and this is coming from a guy that's, this is not a dig at you, but you're an hourly employee showing some initiative to bring 500,000 plus customers to the company.
So I didn't mention this. My initial career plan was to actually go through Sherwin-Williams.
Into marketing space, what you're getting your degree for?
Yeah. So, that was my plan. After I was going to graduate school, I was going to get an internship, go through their management training program. go that corporate chain route. Thank God I got myself out of that. But
yes.
but I was just taking the initiative to show my passion for my job that I really enjoyed and the love for the company that I worked for.
Yeah, which I'll tell you, I think I told you briefly, but I come from that corporate world.
Right.
At one time, the most employees I had was 1,000, right?
Wow, yeah.
If I had somebody come in with that kind of initiative, that's a win in my book.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
It seems like your local guys maybe thought that way too, because they got you at least the information of that individual, but I get it. Busy time, busy place.
So the local management, the people I worked with, that really is the best part about the corporate life. Is really the people you work with. It's not necessarily the
Sherwin-Williams,
the dudes in suits in another state, telling you what to do.
Wherever corporate is.
Exactly.
I hear you.
So that's really why I liked the job, was just the people I worked with, the customers I dealt with, and yeah.
And you liked colors, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, mixing them. Did that something that came to you early, or did you know that coming into there that you liked, mixing colors and doing that kind of thing?
When I first started at Sherwin, I had no idea about color. I had no idea how a gallon of paint got its color. I really thought you just went in the back, pulled it off the shelf, and that's how you buy it.
And it was already that color.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about different sheens, the tinting process, all that.
Yeah.
And that really developed my understanding of color theory too. For most of my videos, I've mixed enough paint now to where I can gauge what the color is going to look like using a certain pigments.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, just getting comfortable doing it over time.
Yeah.
How many videos have you made now, roughly? Do you know?
It's got to be over 500.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, man, you've been grinding.
Yeah.
In what, a year, 2 years? 6 months?
December 19th. That's about a year, 3-4 months.
Holy cow, man. Wow.
And, along doing all this, I wanted to expand my knowledge of social media marketing too. So
another big industry. Yeah.
So exactly. Everything's going digital.
Right.
Everything. So I wanted paint to be the same way.
Yeah. That's clever, man. It's taken something like that you identified there isn't a big space for already, so maybe not a lot of competition from the beginning, and just kind of putting the work in to get it done.
Right.
That's a cool story, man. Yeah. That's impressive.
And my big thing about it, man, and really what I've learned through my whole experience and all this, is just consistency is key. Especially with social media, you got to keep up with it. Being a content creator, coming up with new things, just being consistent with things.
Yeah. It seems like if there's a lapse in, I had one guy, I didn't put a fishing video out for like a week, and then I put one out, and then some guy's like, where you been?
Exactly.
I'm like, man, it's not like I've been gone for a month, but I get what you're saying, because I've seen other creators that they get in this, they're out for a month, they're out for 2 months, they're posting that they're leaving for forever or whatever the case may be, and then maybe they lose some subscribers or some people checking it out, or whatever the case may be.
And the algorithms on these platforms really favor people who keep consistently putting content out there, which is important.
It seems like the golden nugget of what everyone's trying to figure out is that algorithm, right? How do you make whatever platform you're looking at, whether it's Google with all their platforms or TikTok, I'm sure it's the same. How do you make the system work for you?
Exactly.
How do you get it out in front of people by doing whatever it is that the algorithm needs?
You really just got to develop that niche. There's a bunch of things that go into it. Engagement's also a big part of it, engaging with your audience. It's really like building a business, building anything. You got to keep at it, and it'll grow it.
Yeah, basically your own brand, man.
Exactly.
And you're just putting out, you get to control your marketing, and what you put out.
Exactly.
And from a company standpoint, when you get to the size of a Sherwin-Williams, I'm sure, because the company I was with was a Fortune 300 company, all similar, volume, I would imagine, but everything becomes a legal thing.
Yeah.
You can't release this, or you can't say this right, or you might upset these people. It just becomes
But it makes sense. I mean, in no way, shape, or form would I ever think badly of Sherwin-Williams as a company. I mean, the whole thing was just a misunderstanding, and that happens in Fortune 500 companies. I mean, you can't. Not everything's going to go perfectly, like you said. But you do got to watch when you grow to a certain point. That's just business. You got to watch what you do, because there's a lot at stake.
Yeah.
Especially.
All right, so let's back up. So you're working for Sherwin-Williams. You start doing this TikTok only channel. Then what happens? How does it go?
Okay, so after the marketing director had basically said, not really,
Not interested.
not interested,
Yeah.
right? So I just kept making my videos, right? So after that is when I started, instead of doing just customer orders, I started purchasing my own paint from the Sherwin-Williams to, put my own creative spin on videos. In reference to like the blueberry video. I don't know if you had seen that.
This is the one that got you the most press, it seems like, where you put blueberries in paint, and that's what they had a problem with ultimately?
I guess. So how it went down is I was purchasing my own paint, putting my own creative spin on videos, adding different things, just make it a little more fun, more personal. And after I started doing that, I had gotten a call from the director of loss prevention at Sherwin, like the last dude you want to get a call from.
Oh, yeah.
In a company.
Yeah.
And, he went through his investigation. I told him, I'm like, dude, I buying my own paint. I tried getting in contact with marketing, talked to my local management, all that stuff. And he decided to fire me he decided to terminate my employment for gross misconduct, which was, that's how that
The
went.
Blueberries.
Yeah. He said that someone had called and complained that an employee was putting blueberries in paint on social media.
So had they ever asked you to not do this before? Had they ever said, hey, Tony, listen.
They never once told me not to not post TikTok
Not
videos.
to post the TikTok videos. They never once came to you. Man, that's bizarre.
Yeah. It really was bizarre.
Yeah.
And you know what? Another crazy thing about it, after loss prevention went through their investigation or whatever, my district manager, probably the one guy I probably should have talked to or should have talked to me about this whole thing, never reached out to me. He just signed away on the termination paper.
There's a lot of politics that go into that space.
Yeah.
If your LP guy's in there and he's higher than this person, that's honestly the reason why I got out of it, is because you had to be too fake of a person in certain circumstances.
And authenticity is key, man.
Bingo.
For every business, everything.
Life.
Yeah, it really is.
It's hard to find people that, in some cases, have that same level of authenticity that you're looking to put out in some cases, especially in corporate worlds or in politics or whatever the case may be that people like to get caught up in. So how does Florida Paints come along, man? So you lose your job there, and
after I was left Sherwin-Williams, they had fired me. I built my page, put too much time and effort into my page to just like stop making color videos, right? It was something that I actually enjoyed doing, something I was passionate about.
Is it making money? I mean, does that generate income? Is that enough to generate income on its own? A 500,000 subscriber
after being fired from Sherwin-Williams, it was enough for a college student to, like myself, to buy food, buy supplies. Nothing like extraordinary.
You're not retiring, but
not retired.
Enough to cover some basic expenses,
which was good. And that was just when I had gotten fired. It was just when the TikTok opened their creator fund, which is basically like getting paid by views.
Okay, similar to YouTube's partner program.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
And so after I'd gotten let go from Sherwin, bought myself a light box, took all the paint I had left, and I went into my friend's basement, 10 by 10 basement, and that's where I was making my videos.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Light box there, 10 by 10 basement.
Yep.
Still pretty cool setup, man.
It was.
That's
it was
pretty cool
nice.
setup.
And it was in a unfinished basement, so I could be like dirty and stuff like that with paint.
Didn't matter. You know, be a little noisy down there, make a little mess.
Right.
Shit.
And so I was going around buying mist tints, any paint I could basically get my hands on, and just kept making the paint TikToks.
Wow.
Yeah.
But without having that connection, because you were filming all the videos prior at Sherwin-Williams?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
got it.
all of them were at Sherwin.
Yeah. And what about the management there? Like the store manager, they didn't have any problems with it, or they didn't care about it?
The manager at the store was is still one of my good friends. Like he knew my true intentions with the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of him like saying, he didn't make me stop doing it.
Got it.
And he knew I liked doing it. He knew that, he had said that I was one of his better employees.
Wow.
Never gotten written up, nothing like that. So he had no problems with me. So that's why he gave me the good to go for stuff like that too.
You're performing your day-to-day operations, just doing this extra.
Exactly. He said as long as you're getting your job done, man.
Bingo. Yeah. All right, so you're out of Sherwin-Williams. You're working in the basement. Channel's still growing? I mean, did you see any dips or anything?
Like I had said before, consistency is key. I tried making 2 videos a day.
2 videos a day?
Yeah.
How much are you spending on paint? Or are you getting, like, scrap paint or whatever?
Scrap paint, mist tints, and stuff like that from other paints.
Mist tints, is that what you said? Okay, mist tints.
Basically, paint stores can't sell anymore because they tinted it wrong or bad formulas, stuff like that.
So they probably just throw it out or
sell it for $5 a gallon.
Okay, so you can get it a lower premium. Okay.
Started doing that 2 months or 2 videos a day for about July to November, 5 or 6 months.
Yep.
And so in November, after doing more social media research, I wanted to develop an emotional connection with my audience. So, meaning beforehand, I was just making paint videos, satisfying paint videos, and I felt my audience needed to know why I do what I do and why I love what I do. So that is when I put out the story time video on TikTok that blew up all over the internet, basically explaining how I gotten fired from my job.
Yeah. I saw that one. That one I saw.
Yes.
So that was the one that kind of
kicked it off.
Kicked it all off. Okay. One video.
Took it to the next level. And I said, it did its job. I mean, I wanted to let my audience know what happened and why I continue to still make paint content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man. So you were speaking to your audience and just telling your story,
exactly.
And people digged it.
Just told it how it happened.
Wow, man. That's if you had a dream, that seems like it'd be the easiest way to go about at least getting a little bit of popularity in whatever space. Not popularity is probably a poor term for it, but gaining an audience in whatever space you're trying to gain.
Exactly.
Doing it by being yourself, man, and telling what really happened. That's got to be a cool feeling.
It was really cool when it all went down. I mean, I couldn't really believe it. I was like, I had media outlets reaching out to me, doing podcasts, interviews for like 2 or 3 weeks straight about the kid who got fired from the paint store.
Wow, man. Yeah. And they just start reaching out and you start jumping on some Zoom podcasts.
Yeah, so I did a podcast with Erica Nardini, the CEO of Barstool. Few other ones here and there, and then I actually was on Fox News, Fox Business.
Okay.
Talked to Charles Payne.
Really?
About the whole thing that went down. Huh. I think the media really dug into it all. It's that classic David and Goliath story. Big corporation, small part-timer at a store in Athens, Ohio.
Yeah.
And, that's how they fed into it.
They bought into it, man. Well, they saw that this is an interesting story.
Right.
This is something that people will want to click, watch, whatever the case may be. They're just trying to do their job also.
It really, the story behind it all, I'm glad it's like, showed a lot of people, sometimes how working in a corporation can be. That's mainly what I wanted to tell everyone my story about, my experiences.
Honestly, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you was because I think we share some of those similar experiences when dealing with corporate. It's just a different world. It's not for everybody.
Is, man.
I respect the people that do it, but it's not for everybody.
It's not. It really isn't. And growing up in school, I was never the best student, didn't really like listening to teachers. If you think about it, a corporation is just a bigger school, man. You got people looking over your shoulder, doing crazy stuff, get your work done.
Yeah. What makes it good though, like you said it, so true, is the people around you.
Yeah.
Is your direct team, the people that you're directly reporting to, they make it the job, right?
That is, that's the most
best
important
part.
and most important part about it, man. I mean, working for a corporation, it's the people around you, not the dudes in suits somewhere else. Yeah.
Like I said, more power to people that stay in that world. I find myself seem like I'm too negative on the corporate world these days, but it has its space and it has its reasons. And for me, it became this constant. The one problem with corporations is they have to beat sales every year.
Yeah.
it's this constant repetitive, okay, you increased 10 million last year. Well, now you got to do that again plus some more. So it's this like never ending cycle of repetitive growth. Seems unrealistic.
It really is. Yeah. It really is it's a wild, and that's all. America is one giant corporation.
Bingo.
I mean, that's how this country works.
That's
it's
right.
wild, man.
Yeah. And to get people to spend money, they need these corporations to make the newest, latest products that just feeds this engine, and some of these cases, I don't know if that's the right engine, and we don't have to get into all that, but it seems that at least where you're at in your space, it had to be a good thing that happened to you. I mean, do you see it as ultimately a good thing in the long run, as being a part of that company and now doing your own thing?
Oh, 100%. I mean, a lot of people, I still think about it to this day. If I had went to the marketing director at Sherwin, gave him my presentation, and he liked it and went for it, none of this would be. They wouldn't have given me started my own line of paint. Let me have creative freedom on my channel. That's a big part of why I joined Florida Paints, actually.
Yeah. I thought I read that Benjamin Moore or some other major paint company came calling for you as well after you started getting some press. But what happened there? You had options to go other places?
Right. So when the story had broke out over the media, I was doing all these interviews, stuff like that. And that's when I had actually started receiving job offers from, I would say, about every major paint company in the U.S.
Really?
So like Behr, PPG, Benjamin Moore, Home Depot retailers reached out to me. Just all these paint manufacturers in the U.S. Right? Florida Paints was actually the first company to call me. Basically, I like to call it Media Day. It was like one day where all these job offers came in. Stuff like that.
You've had your own Media Day.
Like an NFL athlete.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's awesome, man.
So the first phone call I got was in the morning from Florida Paints. The owner, Don Struby, called me. And he had heard about the story, stuff like that. And when I had first talked to him, we really just talked about our shared passion for paint and color. We talked about how, a lot of people don't know this, but paint is really one of the most important industries in our country. I mean, if you think about it, every new building needs paint. Everything needs painted.
Sure.
That's my big perspective on it. And that's why I'm also fascinated by the paint industry, because it's an industry that will likely never die.
Sure. Been here for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't look like it's slowing down.
No.
Recession-proof almost. Hopefully.
I mean, dude, all these home improvement paint companies, their businesses actually did well during COVID.
Yeah, I got a buddy that works for one of the big home improvement stores. He's a district manager for them. And their best years ever, man.
Yeah.
Their best years ever. He was mad I was coming to talk to Florida Paints because I guess they're a competition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was like, don't worry about it. No problem. But, yeah, those home improvement stores, a lot of interesting niches came out of this whole pandemic, you know, and truthfully, it's where fishing came from for me, where I've been making these fishing videos. I did it when I was a kid. Right. So I fished when I was a kid, stopped when I was, 12, 15, started doing other things and then started working.
Right.
Then I actually get a chance to leave the company I was working for in a convenient way when COVID hit, which, when you get to director level, there's like the other side of corporate is then there's like packages and things that come with leaving. So I was fortunate that a lot of people lost their job last year. Yes, I lost my job, but they were still paying me for a long time. So I feel fortunate for that. I had that going for me. But from a fishing standpoint, I start noticing all these fishing YouTube channels and all these guys that are just posting one fishing video a week or as many as they can do, and they're filming it, and like they're getting decent amount of subscribers. And then start looking into it, and it's like, okay, there might be a way to make a little bit of money doing this, and that's where fishing came from, man. And then industry, it's growing massive. Walmart's got their own private label in their stores now of fishing equipment. So once I saw Walmart putting money into it, I knew it was kind of a good space to get into. But I've been having fun, man.
That is great to hear. I mean, you and I are similar. We found our things during this whole crazy COVID thing.
Yeah. I hate saying this, that 2020 was the best year of my life. It's a hard thing to say this day and age, man, but it's the truth.
I would say the exact same thing. My dad still tells me, he said, if COVID never happened, you would have been taking your internship at Sherwin. It wouldn't have a big part of it too. How I mentioned doing customer paint orders was because they were phone orders. I could film before the customer got there.
Oh, I see. So customer calls in.
I forgot to mention that. I was not filming while customers were there.
No,
distracting work.
No, I got it. Yeah. While customers call in an order, you're mixing it for them. Yep. You just happen to. Did you have a light box and stuff like that too? Or
it was a pretty well lit store, so I just
you just break out your cell phone.
You
just break out your cell phone, record the video, and be done with it.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
It's wild.
And then it led you here.
Yep.
A couple months later, different state, different company. So the owner of Florida Paint, you said, actually reached out to you on media day.
Yeah.
What's he like, man?
He's a great dude. Like I said, we really had a genuine shared passion for color, paint, how important it is, and he flew me out 2 days after that phone call to come check out the plant, stuff like that, meet everyone. Super cool. Great family-owned business.
Yeah.
Mid-sized company, which is something I didn't really want to go too big, and that's why I went with Florida Paints rather than all those big-time corporations, was because I wanted to work for a smaller company, where there's not too many steps up the ladder to get information by.
Less red tape to cut, as they say.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
And if I would have taken one of those job offers from another paint company, like the bigger ones, it would have been like going back to another Sherwin. So I made the decision to downsize on where I went on the company.
Yeah.
It's
paid off.
It is.
It's a smart play. I mean,
it's a beautiful company too. It's fantastic. The people that work here are great. I just want to help them out too.
Yeah. I like I'm a Florida native. I like the locally owned companies. That's obviously important to the state. And,
right.
And it makes it easier. I'm doing a little bit of work with some locally owned companies now instead of going back to that corporate world. You mentioned it, but we got a lot of similar paths that we're crossing here, man. So one of the big things for me was if I was going to work with another company is that the creative freedom that you said,
big
right? So how did that conversation happen? Did he come to you with do whatever you want, or did you kind of set that expectation with him that you wanted the freedom to keep doing what you're doing?
That was something he emphasized. I mean, that's a big part of content creation is having authentic content that isn't filtered through a bunch of people. You got to show stuff, but that was a big part of it that he had emphasized was that I could still do my own thing, come up with my own ideas, and when I was talking to the other companies through that, that wasn't really the case.
They would give you that, got to go to this person, got to go to this person, got to make sure legal approves before it can get out to the public. We don't want people thinking they can put blueberries on their wall.
Exactly.
Is that the concern?
I guess. I thought that was just like common knowledge, but yeah.
So you're not making paint in that circumstance to put on the wall. You're pleasing your audience that you've created with color.
Yeah.
Just seeing, like you keep mentioning, a satisfying color mix. So it's not like you were saying, hey, come to Sherwin-Williams or whatever company and say put blueberries or bananas or whatever. You were just doing something different.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I'm emphasizing on my own paint brand, Tonester Paints, that we actually just launched last week with an online shop.
Nice.
I want to emphasize the importance and value of color.
Okay.
A lot of other paint companies, their things, durability, before, after, stuff like that. I want to, the Tonester Paints is great wall paint. It's actually Florida Paint's top tier interior wall paint.
Wow.
But what I'm marketing and trying to emphasize is the color of it all.
Making it more about what people see every day.
Exactly.
People aren't going to be thinking about, not everyone will be thinking about the durability of their paint, but every time they walk in the room, they're going to notice the colors.
Exactly. And
clever, man. That's clever.
That's crazy. The crazy thing about color is it really will affect how you wake up in the morning, depending on what color your bedroom is painted. Just your daily thought processes, activity. It's all can be emphasized through color.
Yeah. People need a little bit of that
Exactly.
right now. Not everybody like us had the best year that they had in 2020, but some people need that.
Right.
And if it's color that can do that, I'm sure there's even science and data behind what it is that's actually doing it for people.
It's all color theory, man.
Wow.
It really is.
Color theory? I
Yeah.
heard you mention that twice now.
Yeah.
That's like
the study of like how like colors react with each other and how it reacts with like the human brain.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
man. I'll have to look into that.
Super cool stuff, man.
That's very cool.
And that is a subject that can go on forever.
Okay, got it. One of those subjects.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I like, truthfully. I'm part of my podcast and what I'm trying to accomplish here is just grow my own mind, man.
Exactly,
Yeah.
man.
And doing that through conversation and hearing about things like color theory that I've never even heard of before. You know, that's kind of the idea behind this whole thing.
Super cool, man.
Cool, man. So he flies you down, you guys hit it off, and then you move here. What?
Move here a few weeks later.
Yeah.
I was ready to get out of Ohio, ready to expand Tonester Paints rather than a channel, make it a brand, stuff like that.
And here's an opportunity, mid-size Florida-based company, and now you got your own paint line starting with them.
Yes, sir.
Damn, man.
It's wild.
That's dope. That's dope, man. That's awesome. So I'll link everything below, so people can see how to find out that's available now and stuff for everybody. I'll obviously link the company and everything. So when they brought you in, did you know you were getting a studio like this right away, or did they have this space say, hey, use this, or did that come later?
They gave me the ability to, they showed me the space, and this was not like how it was when I first got here. I repainted that and just made it like my own. So
Nice, man. Very cool. So what's next for you? You got the paint line coming. You're working here with this company. What's next on your plans,
What's next
man?
for me is going back to consistently just keep trying to grow my channels, because social media platforms in my mind is the most effective use of marketing for any company right now, or any brand. So I'm gonna keep pushing out super cool content, focusing on color, working on my brand. I mean, I gotta start shipping paint and stuff out of here now, and
now you got work to do.
Exactly.
Merchandise? You got merchandise?
Yeah, we got hoodies, t-shirts, hats.
Do you really?
All that kind of cool stuff. Yeah,
nice. Because you went from primarily TikTok, and now you're on other social media platforms, right? I saw
Instagram and YouTube.
Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
Those are your three. And I saw on YouTube, where did I see this? I think on LinkedIn, a plaque of some sort. I don't know if it was 100,000.
Oh yeah, it was the 100,000 subscriber plaque.
So your YouTube channel then is obviously growing very fast as well.
Yes, actually yesterday I hit 300,000.
Nice, man.
On YouTube.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
In what, 3 months, 4 months?
Started in October.
5 months?
Yeah.
Man, damn. So how much of your people came from TikTok? Was that probably the main source?
You know what's crazy about TikTok is it's actually super hard to drive people out of the platform. So be like, it doesn't really work. Be like, oh, hey, go follow my Instagram, my YouTube. Unless they're super fans or they're really like attached to your content.
Right.
For people like me, it's best to grow within the social media platform you're on. So Instagram, YouTube. I mean, I just kind of do it's all kind of the same thing, just consistency, engagement, quality of content. Those are my big 3 rules. Just utilize those on whatever platform you're on, and you should see growth within it.
Very cool, because that's what seems like there's a lot of people trying to figure out, right? There's no shortage of YouTube videos of people telling you how they grow this, grow that.
Exactly.
But consistency, good content, and just putting in the work.
Yeah.
Huh? That's the secret.
That's what worked for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's the secret. I like it, man. I like it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Does your family miss you? I mean, you mentioned your father a couple times.
Yeah. I would have never thought I would have moved to Florida. I really had no interest in going to Florida. Being from the Midwest.
Had you ever been here?
I had been here once when I was like 5.
Okay. Don't remember it?
No.
Yeah.
But Dude, it's super cool down here, man. Florida's a cool place. Cool people, good food, great weather. I mean, you can't really ask for much more than that.
Florida gets a little shade out there. They think everyone from Florida is crazy. There's crazy people everywhere,
there's crazy
man.
people
But
everywhere.
it seems like a lot of the craziness that happens in Florida sort of makes the news.
Exactly.
You know, it's just
classic Florida man.
Exactly.
Headlines.
Exactly. Florida man, Florida crazy people getting too much sun. Or I don't know what they think. I think they would think we all get too much sun down here or something.
Dude, it is sunny down here. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Yeah. Gotta be better than snow.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's way better than snow.
What town in Ohio you said?
I'm from the Akron area.
Akron.
But I went to school at OU, which is like southeast Ohio.
Yeah. That's where LeBron's from, right?
Yeah.
LeBron's got to be big there, hometown. I mean,
oh yeah, definitely. I actually, when I worked at the Sherwin-Williams in Copley, Akron, and I drove by his house almost every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. I heard Akron. I'm like, well, where did I know that? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's where
Yep,
LeBron's from. That's probably what everybody thinks about Akron now since he's around. Very cool, man. Very cool. Well, listen, I appreciate your time.
Hey, I appreciate you having me,
This was
man.
awesome coming
Super
up here,
cool.
meeting you, talking to you. Didn't think we'd have as much, similar things in common about the whole corporate world space and finding your own thing.
I think a lot of people within themselves have that because a lot of people work for a lot of corporations. I think it's a common, I don't know how to word it, common like knowledge mindset of a lot of people.
I think there's some longing from individuals that have put 10, 15 years, maybe it's in a cubicle, maybe it's for a corporation, to be able to create their own things whenever they want and have some flexibility to be your own person. I think you're right. I think there are a lot of people that just bury that inside that they can't be their own person.
And thankfully for people, young people, I would want to emphasize, like, you're single, don't have kids. You don't really have to, go take that corporate route right away. I mean, that's how you get started early. But I mean, I would just emphasize just do your own thing as much as you can.
Yeah. You got to make a little bit of money. That's the world, unfortunately, back to the corporation that is America. You got to make a little bit of money, but I think people...
There's so many other ways if you really want to to do it. It's definitely possible.
Yeah. I think people maybe chase money a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I think is a common thing. I've been there. I'll speak for myself. I've been the guy that I got to make this money. I got to have this. I got to have that. But I think time is more valuable, And
time's the most valuable thing you have, man.
It's an old phrase, man, but it's so true.
It really is.
It's so true. It took me too long to realize that, though. I'll tell you. How old are you?
22.
22?
Yeah.
If you can realize that and apply that in your life now, man, you're going to be just fine for your whole life.
Man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, if you ever want to do this again, you ever want to partner up on something, man, I'd love to. Whatever you're doing, man, you're a cool guy. This would be awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Man.
Yeah,
it's cool.
For sure. Yeah. Piece of cake, right?
Yeah, dude, that was cool.